Yo, what's going on out there in the land of YouTube? How you guys doing? I'm YouTubing, my YouTube friends. What is going on? Who's in the room? Gloria's here. Everybody, do me a favor. Whether you're watching this now, right this minute, or tomorrow or the next day, hit the like button. Take your finger like that and just hit the like button. Just take your finger and hit the like button. Hit it just like that. Okay, please, if you would, please. And then, oh, Gloria, Jeff hates pigs. Jeff hates pigs. Mikey B, what's going on? Kim, how are you? Nice to see you, Kimberly. Who else we got here? What is going on? What is going on? Good to see you guys. Good to see you. So, you know, of course, when I say let's talk about something important, and give me a 5x5 if you guys got me okay in the microphone. Greetings from the Netherlands. Clemens is here. David Bruce, what's going on, David Bruce? Good to see you. James Williams. I'll just give a couple minutes for people to get in here. You guys know, I rarely will, once in a while, but rarely do I cover another auditor's video, because often there's things that we need to focus on that are super important, right? There's things that we need to focus on that are so fundamentally important to the whole reason I'm on social media, which is to overturn Terry versus Ohio. This is the whole purpose of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. This right here, every single day, you know, the police brag about how many touches they have every year with citizens and how few people die from those touches because of Terry versus Ohio is the reason why they have what's called those touches. And that's reasonable, articulable suspicion. And so, you know, as I delve into this more, I want you guys to start to think about the most important conversation that we can have right now is overturning Terry versus Ohio. And so I'm actually going to cover another auditor's video. Let me pull that video up real quick. And this video is teaching the other people, and I'm just going to go to my history to find it because I watched it, is teaching people the difference between what cops call reasonable articulable suspicion, Terry versus Ohio, 1968, and probable cause. There is a probable cause standard in America. You have a Fourth Amendment right. No warrant shall issue but upon probable cause. You have that right. It is yours. So anything that the government creates to go between your fundamental right of a probable cause standard. If they create something that goes between that and liberty, then what they're doing is they're cheating us. They're absolutely cheating us. And that's what's happening. And that's the reason why I wanted to take this time to cover this other auditor's video. Give me 1 second.
Welcome back to the Here's the Deal channel. I'm Brian Young, former statist, former bootlicking supporter of the...
Got it. Here it is, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. I appreciate that. Got it.
Of the thin line game.
Okay. So there's a huge difference between reasonable articulable suspicion and probable cause. And the Fourth Amendment is so clear on this. The Fourth Amendment is the right of the people to be secure in their person, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause. Meaning that you cannot be arrested unless a warrant is issued for you for probable cause. You understand? Probable cause is when you have broken the law. It is not reasonable articulable suspicion is something that was created in 1968 with Terry versus Ohio. It is not constitutional. 1896, Plessy versus Ferguson created legal racial segregation. That holding wasn't overturned until the 1954 Brown versus Board of Education. And that changed legal racial segregation. It broke it. It took 58 years. Terry versus Ohio right now is 1968. So we're at 54 years with Terry versus Ohio. So we're on the cusp of change. We're going to see Terry fall. But I want this other auditor to explain to you guys the difference between probable cause and reasonable articulable suspicion, because he does an absolutely brilliant job. And very rarely do I cover other auditors' videos. You guys know that. Like, I have my own things to do. I have my own mission. But Brian from Here's the Deal actually made a video about probable cause versus Terry versus Ohio. So I'm going to play a little bit of that, and I want you guys to watch it.
I mean, I really...
He used to be a bootlicker.
So let's take a look. Hi there, Deputy Lamb from West County Sheriff's Office. This I'm stopping you on 59 is 45 to here.
I thought it was 55.
Nope. You have a driver's license, proof of insurance, registration with you? And 45 for about the last 10 miles for you. Of the Thin Blue Line Gang. I mean, I really used to classification from West County Sheriff's Office. Hi there, Deputy Lamb from West County Sheriff's Office. This I'm stopping you on 59 is 45 to here.
I thought it was 55.
Nope. You have a driver's license, proof of insurance, registration with you? Then 45 for about the last 10 miles for you. Is this your car, sir? Okay. Are you Jennifer? Do you have your ID with you?
She doesn't show you that.
It's her vehicle, so I'd like to confirm it.
She hasn't
I need to confirm that it's her vehicle.
No, you don't. I'm driving.
I need to. It doesn't matter if you're driving.
Do you suspect her of committing a crime?
No, I do not.
Okay.
But I need to. Her name is on her registration. I need to confirm that it's her.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
I'm driving.
It doesn't matter.
She's not going to show you. That's not going to happen.
Sir.
I apologize, sir.
Now, in this video, we're going to learn two things. Number one, authoritarians like Boise County's Officer Lamson, badge number 2247, are revenue-generating road pirates for foreign corporations. He doesn't care about you or the safety of people on the road. He's there to violate your rights, take your money, and treat you like a subject. Number two, in most states, there are only two logical reasons anybody should ever give up their ID. And that's if you're operating a vehicle on the public roadways and you've committed a traffic infraction, or if the revenue generator has probable cause that you've committed a crime. Not reasonable articulable suspicion like Terry v. Ohio, but probable cause as in the Fourth Amendment. There is a difference, and we're going to take a look at that. We've got to stop using Terry v. Ohio terminology.
Bang.
I know saying reasonable articulable suspicion sounds good, but it's not constitutional. Now let's get back to this extortion operation. Okay.
If you would like to, you can get your. I, with all due respect, I appreciate what you're doing. I'm not trying to give you a hard time.
But you are giving me a hard time.
Yeah.
He's giving him a hard time because he's invoking his rights.
Well, okay, if you want to look at it like that, I am going to give you a hard time over it because I am all about my rights, and she has rights. You don't suspect her of any crime.
This cop's like, don't you realize I'm here with the implied threat of force to separate you from your hard-earned cash during this piracy operation?
Stop giving me a hard time while I'm giving you a hard time.
Exactly.
About my rights, and she has rights. You don't suspect her of any crime. She's not. You
I need
haven't
to
pulled her
confirm
over.
that this is her vehicle.
No, you don't.
So if this vehicle
run
was
it.
stolen, that doesn't make a difference. It's going to come back to a Jennifer
Do you
Ramsey.
suspect this vehicle being stolen?
Possibly, I have no idea.
No, you're right. You have no idea. You have to have a reasonable, articulable
I do.
suspicion.
Let's go ahead and put RAS, or reasonable articulable suspicion, to bed. I realize this sounds like the right thing to say, and I'm not condemning anybody for saying it. But when you invoke RAS, or reasonable articulable suspicion, you're inviting the cop to use subjective suspicion in order to unconstitutionally violate your rights and extract an ID. Fourth Amendment probable cause is where you want to go with it. And if you want to sound smarter, you can always call it objective articulable fact. The main difference.
Okay, so now I want to show you guys something. Because what Brian just said, I can show you an exact example of when you're pulled over and there's a copper at your window. No matter how friendly you've been, what that copper wants to do is collect your data and get it in his book. And so I'm going to show you guys, and a lot of you guys will remember this, when I was in New Mexico.
Oh no, you don't have a right to it.
So this goes back to right.
Well, I've tried, it goes both. If it goes here, if I put.
Well, the thing with that is
Watch, I'm telling you.
I
I got
wanna make sure-
I got two phones. I've been
no,
doing
I
on
want
both.
to make sure it's not scamming you, because some people will do an Airbnb and they don't even own it. You get what
Is
I'm
that a
saying?
scam, ma'am? Are we looking at a scam Airbnb?
Yeah, because
It looks like a nice place.
So let me give you guys a little backlog real quick. I was in New Mexico looking for West Texas looking for my Airbnb. These cops pulled over. I was pulled up next to me. They didn't even have their emergency lights on, and they just started talking to me. Then they put their emergency lights on, and they were trying to help me because I was lost in West Texas. And so this was a very cordial 9-minute conversation because I'm on the phone with Airbnb. I've got my other phone recording them. You guys will see that even though it's a cordial conversation, watch what these coppers are trained to do, and watch how you can parry that.
Man, I haven't got to drive this
Yeah,
car
we know
fast yet.
Because I know I pulled up
she
one.
wants. That's what you got.
It's
Well, I
nice.
had one and I was dumb and I traded it in. Is that the Airbnb rep though?
Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
cool.
Yeah, you can stay on the line with her. We'll take you up there.
Here we go.
You stay on the line with her. We'll take you up there. Do you have a license on you by chance, just so we can document?
I don't want to give you my information. I'm a constitutional law scholar. This is what I do for a living. I sue lots of people. No, only the bad cops though, okay? I only sue bad cops. Just remember, I only hate bad cops.
Couple people about to find out about lawsuits.
But we still have to identify you.
Oh, no, you don't have a right to identify.
Well, actually, you're suspicious activity.
And with
I mean,
reason-
we talked to you just fine.
No,
We still get-
God bless you.
Yeah, you can give us a name.
So let me, this is what I do for a living.
Yeah.
So what's reasonable articulable suspicion?
The neighbors, you try to talk to a
Hold on.
woman,
1 second, ma'am.
and then
No, I didn't try to
They
talk to a
also-
woman.
they also-
They came outside with a
you
gun.
were driving.
So
driving back and
what's
forth on the
suspicious?
You driving back and forth on the road. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
And the neighbors were alerted because of
Okay,
your.
right. So me
activity.
driving is suspicious activity?
Yes, because this is a dead end street.
And
Nobody
where-
ever drives through.
And where does reasonable articulable suspicion, where's the phrase come from? Where's it come
You got
from?
me there though.
It comes from the 1968 case of Terry versus Ohio.
Okay.
Now,
See, and I should have known that.
so the only way that you could get my identification from me
Yes, sir.
is if you had a probable cause standard, which is what? The Fourth Amendment,
Yes, sir.
which says
Yes.
that no warrant shall be issued but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation by the victim. So if you
Are
want me
you-
to fill out a
well,
probable
can I
cause
ask
standard
you-
for a gun being pulled on me, I've been victimized. But if
Do they
unless you
point
can
it at
produce
you,
a
though?
victim and the probable cause of a crime
Yeah.
being committed,
No, I want to
You
see.
have
I'm
no right
asking
to
about the
identify
gun
me.
part. Did they point it at you?
no, they were,
Boom.
they were
I was
actually,
just worried
they
about.
were nice. They were it's funny, man.
Boom. That was it right there. That was the end of that, because they didn't know, they could no longer respond to me. I explained it to them crystally clear. Is crystally a word? I explained to them crystal clear. A word. I explained to them crystal clear. You have to have probable cause for me to give you. You can't just pull me. I'm parked on the side of a road. I'm allowed to stop on the side of a road. That's not illegal. Whether it's a dead-end street or not, I can sit there. And the only way that you can get my identification is if you can prove that there's a probable cause standard for you to arrest me. And then you have to arrest me for me to give you my ID. Now, there's a slippery slope here. There's a slippery slope here. Every different state is going to have a different standard of how you have to interact with the police, because the Supreme Court's 2004 case of Hibble versus Sixth Circuit, Nevada. So let me share with you guys the Hibble versus Sixth Circuit Nevada case, because you guys are going to see this in the next video I have coming up anyway. But I'm not going to go into detail on the Hibble case like I'm going to go into detail on Hibble case now. And this is super important that you understand this, especially if you live in the state of Nevada. So, you don't have to give your identification to a copper unless they have a probable cause standard to arrest you. However, the Supreme Court in the 2004 case of Hibble, in a recent Supreme Court case that may affect existing Know Your Rights brochures for pamphlets, and let me just get it here. Oh, it's going to say it. The court upheld Nevada law that authorizes police officers to detain, torture cuff you. Detain means torture cuff. The Supreme Court said cops can torture cuff individuals who may encounter suspicious circumstances and refuse to identify themselves when asked to do so. The court's ruling, Hibble versus 6th Judicial District of Nevada, is very narrow, relying on the limited reach of the Nevada statute, which applies only to situations which an officer reasonably suspects that a crime has been committed or has been committed or is being committed, and which requires the individual who is stopped to provide his or her name. Okay, now remember, words matter. So when it says that you have to provide your name, you are allowed to provide your name as, you can call me good citizen. So you have to, so now, because this scout is holding is going to, you guys have to understand this, that until the Supreme Court case is overturned, that's the Constitution. Right now, our Constitution is that officer safety is premier number one. So if Nevada created this, and the Supreme Court created this for Nevada, and their statute is that you have to give a name, and the Supreme Court says that that's fine, then you can expect states like Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, Kansas, maybe not Kansas. Kansas is getting pretty hip to the police state. Texas, Florida, they're going to create similar laws. So often if you are forced to interact with a cop and he can articulate the BS Terry holding of reasonable articulable suspicion, then you make sure that you just identify yourself. You can call me good citizen. I've given you my name. If people can choose the gender that they go by, then I certainly can choose the name that I go by. And I go by good citizen. So, you have to understand. You have to understand your rights. Am I a little bit blurry? Sorry, guys. Let me try to. Is that better? Is that better? Right there. I'm sorry, I haven't been reading any comments. Chevy, I love you. What is going on? The tribe. How is everybody doing? Wow. So let me read the rest of this Hibble case for you guys, so that you guys know what the Supreme Court, the 2004 case of Hibble, says. The Nevada statute does not require the individual to show any document or answer any other question. So if the copper can articulate his reasonable articulable suspicion, so if you're jogging down the road and you have a backpack on, but it happens to be a weighted backpack, and a robbery happens right around the corner, and he and the cop are, they say be on the lookout for a guy who stole a bunch of stuff out of a garage, then the cop can reasonably suspect that the guy running down the road with the backpack on full of stuff, it could be you. So when he comes up to you, when he begins his investigation, which is a Terry stop, we don't want crime, but when he begins that investigation and he says, "What is your name?" then you say to him, "You can call me good citizen." That's what I would do. I would say, "Call me good citizen." But I'm a little bit, a couple people, I just choose often to just. Sometimes I tell them who I am. Sometimes I don't. Ha ha ha. Sometimes I feel like a nut, and sometimes I don't. And so, as we go down this, and it says then, and then it says the decision does not resolve whether a statute that required presentation of a driver's license or other identifying documents would be constitutional, nor does the decision require a suspect identify him or herself in every case. The court recognizes there may be cases where just giving one's name may constitute self-incrimination. 4 justices dissented from the ruling. So it was 5-4. Five justices were for tyranny and 4 were not. So then it goes into what it was for immigration purposes. It is important to stress the ruling's limited scope. Immigrants who are stopped by police and asked to identify themselves in jurisdiction with laws that require them to do so generally must provide their names, but the ruling requires nothing further. Because it is difficult to know with certainty whether one's location, where state law or even a county ordinance requires a suspect to provide his or her name to the police, it is safest to assume that one must. That's what I just said. However, the ruling does not apply to being questioned by Border Patrol or other immigration officers. They have no authority to enforce state or local laws. So you kind of go down a rabbit hole when you start to understand the way that you have to interact with these piggies. And I'll show you guys why. Let me show you guys the reason why. Let me pull up that clip real quick. I don't have it. This is a clip. This is something coming out, but I want to talk about it a little bit before this comes out, because this is super important that you guys understand your rights when it comes. Ugh. That is not it. No, cancel that. Sorry about that. I almost closed the whole dang computer down. I am so sorry. That would have sucked. That would have absolutely sucked, because it's so hard. Everything is when you get on and you finally get it going, then you're like, oh my God, thank God. So I just did this. This is going to be here. Okay, syncing. There it is.
You're gonna get.
Okay. Here this is. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Right here. I'm only going to show 1 minute of this. I really am. I'm only going to show 1 minute, because I really been working on this, because I want to show you guys the difference between probable cause and reasonable articulable suspicion. There is a very large difference, and that if police do something to violate your civil rights, that it is illegal. And that's why I'm showing you guys this clip. So boom.
For a living. I'm gonna stand right here.
You can.
I'm gonna stand right here.
Sir.
I'm standing in the parking lot. I came to
Sir,
get
would
gas.
you like me to
And you guys,
trespass this individual
you
from your
can't
property?
trespass me. Honey, you can't solicit a trespass. Go ahead, let's follow it. Let's see if you're gonna get sued. Let's see. Solicit a trespass from owners. Look it up, guys. You guys are watching? Look it up.
Okay, we're good.
She's trying to solicit a trespass from owners. It's illegal.
Okay.
Tell me the statute in Nevada where this tyrant's trying to solicit a trespass. You want?
It's NV 207.200. NV2 207.200.
Why people don't like cops? What you just did is illegal, honey. You can't solicit a trespass.
Okay. Now, what I just said is what you just did is illegal, honey. And yes, I'm being disrespectful to her like I would be disrespectful to another copper who's a guy. And I would say something disrespectful because I don't respect cops because they don't want to do anything to change the system. Everything's above their pay grade. They can't talk about it. I can't get anything done. So I've just interviewed them for over a year now. And I can't get a copper to do a damn thing, to do anything to clean up the disgusting organization that is the Death Star. It just has to be changed. So, so now let me show you guys exactly what that statute is so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. If a copper tries to solicit a trespass against you, then right here, can you guys see that? Let me see what it looks like on StreamYard. There it is right there. If a copper tries to solicit a trespass against you, sorry about that, NR 207-200, Nevada law defines the crime of trespassing as entering someone else's property without permission, to remain on their property without being instructed to leave. Trespass is a misdemeanor that carries a penalty of up to 6 months in jail. Can you believe that? 6 months in a dungeon. 6 months in a dungeon. Because you went on someone else's property. Like, incredible. But I want to show you, when I told that copper that her trying to solicit a trespass against me is illegal, I want you guys to understand the actual law. So most in Las Vegas, it's because people who won't leave after security. The 4 defense strategies to Nevada trespass laws include: the defendant had a right to be there. Of course I did. I was getting gas. The defendant had the consent of the owner to be there. It's a business, so it's open to the public. Of course I have a right to be there. The landlord did not give sufficient notice via signage and fences to stay off of the property, or the defendant was exercising First Amendment rights. Right there. Boom. Right there. So when she went over and tried to solicit a trespass, when clearly I was acting as a member of the press, then she violates my First Amendment rights, and she would open up herself to litigation. And I would have no choice but to sue her, of course, if she arrested me. So, you know, luckily I don't have tons of lawsuits against coppers because they're because they're smart dumb enough to know that there are some people, and other people who I've sued are learning this. There are some people who won't let it go because there's a level of accountability that has to be made for your actions, just like for mine, just like for yours. If you hit a girl in the street when you're cruising in a cop car, 80 and a 30, Jeff Racer Jr., Justice for Laney Hudson in Huntington, West Virginia. So there should be accountability. And so what this says to all the coppers out there, and just so you know, no matter what statute they created in Texas or Ohio or Arizona, if you are exercising your First Amendment right, it's a defense in Nevada. So all you have to do is just look up the trespass ordinance in the state that you're in, and then look up the defenses for it. So, boom, there it is. What's up, Playboy? Right there. That's it in black and white. It's a violation of my First Amendment to solicit a trespass against me. It's a civil rights violation to arrest me while I'm in the act of my First Amendment by going and soliciting a trespass. That copper, well, sorry, excuse me. That copper not only Oh. Hold on, let me just make sure that my system preferences is caught up to date. Are we good? Okay, cool. Good. There. So sorry if the microphone is a little bit low. I don't know why. If it's a little low, is that a little bit better? If I put the microphone a little bit closer to my mouth, is that a little better? Because I can bend this thing to go right to my mouth. It's supposed to go super close to your mouth. All you hear is clicking. Okay, cool. Are we back? So now down the rabbit hole we go is, you guys have to understand. I'm going to go back to this real quick because I want him to finish his rant on this. Brian from Here's the Deal, he has a couple more points on here that are just really, really valid that I wanted you guys to hear the difference between reasonable articulable suspicion and probable cause. Oh, someone just sent me some information about the, so whoop, whoop, whoop. Awesome.
The difference between reasonable suspicion.
Okay, there it is. It's right there.
Objective.
Okay, so I'm going to share this right here. I want you guys to listen to what he says here because it's exactly spot on. I was like,
articulable fact. The main difference between reasonable suspicion from Terry v. Ohio and probable cause from the Fourth Amendment is that probable cause relies on objective circumstances and evidence, whereas reasonable suspicion is discretionary and closer to an inclination rather than evidence. So what is probable cause? Before cops can make an arrest or make you insecure in your person by extracting an ID from you, they gotta have probable cause. This means that officers have clear and objective circumstances that suggest criminal activity. Probable cause is super important because it ensures that officers cannot make arrests or get an ID based on a hunch or a feeling. Instead, they got to find substantial proof of a crime to get a warrant and proceed with an investigation or get an ID. Here's an example. An officer is patrolling on a main street when he notices an individual running down the street carrying a large duffel bag. As the person's running, he trips and drops the bag, which splits open to reveal vast amounts of goods from watches to old jewelry pieces. Suddenly, the officer gets a call over the radio that a local pawn shop was just robbed. At this point, the officer can sufficiently say that the individual running away from the direction of the shop with the duffel bag full of potentially stolen goods is probably the perpetrator. Because the officer has probable cause, he can now proceed with the detainment and ID. So what's reasonable suspicion? Reasonable suspicion is based on an inclination as opposed to having evidence. Often, reasonable suspicion leads an officer to investigate around an area where he believes that criminal activity was or is taking place. Sometimes during this investigation, he may discover evidence for probable cause and make an arrest. However, regardless of how reasonably suspicious an officer is, they cannot legally arrest or detain or ID someone based on suspicion alone. Here's an example of reasonable suspicion. An officer is sitting at his post when he looks over at a local park. There, he notices a man looking around as if he's waiting for somebody. Another man walks up to him, and they appear to talk for a moment before shaking hands. The second man walks away, leaving the first alone. Not 10 minutes later, however, another person strikes up a conversation with this individual. They also shake hands, but the angle of the newcomer's body doesn't cover up the money he exchanges before the handshake. At this point, the officer has reasonable suspicion that a drug deal is possibly taking place. While he can't arrest or detain this man in the park or even ID, the officer can investigate him by asking him around for a name. Now let's go back to the road piracy stop, still in progress.
Do you suspect this vehicle being stolen?
Possibly, I have no idea.
No, you're right. You have no idea. You have to have reasonable, articulable
I do.
suspicion. No, you don't.
Yeah,
No, you don't. I'm sorry, sir. It's not going to happen.
I need to confirm
No, I
that
need
this is
no.
Jennifer
I need your
Ramsey.
supervisor, please.
I don't. He's not on right now.
Well, I apologize then. It's not going to happen. You can do whatever you need to do. You can violate my rights. You can
I'm not
violate her
violating
rights. You
anybody's
can violate her rights. She's
Sir.
not going to present her ID. She told me no. Not going to happen.
Okay, so if this vehicle is stolen and the person that's driving it,
Go check.
I have no idea.
Go check. Go check.
Okay,
Run the vehicle.
you said this was your vehicle,
Run the
correct?
vehicle. Yeah.
It's still going to come back to a Jennifer Ramsey.
She's my wife.
Okay, I don't know if this is
She's my
Jennifer or not.
It doesn't matter. You don't need to know. You don't need to know.
Yes, I
Sorry,
do.
go run the vehicle. See if it's stolen. That's all you got to do now.
It may
That's
not
simple.
come back as stolen,
I don't
sir.
care. I don't care. Then you have no articulable suspicion.
In the end, Officer Lamson, badge number 2247, was able to issue the speeding ticket. But the man stood his ground and protected the identity of his wife. He secured his wife's Fourth Amendment right to be secure in her person, while Officer Lamson, badge number 2247, tried to deprive her of it.
So it's a prime example of understanding the difference between probable cause, reasonable articulable suspicion, and securing your rights. I'm sorry if the mic's a little low. I'll get it fixed. I'll take it in to where I got it, and I'll get it fixed. Really sorry, but so, and there was something else I wanted to make sure that, you know, we keep the message alive for justice for Laney. I want to make sure people are going back to that Facebook page, and there should be a Facebook page established for justice for Laney. There really should. And then there's another case I'm going to cover tomorrow, but tonight I just wanted to kind of really talk about something important, which is understanding the difference between probable cause and reasonable, especially if you're an auditor. If you're someone who wants to go out and audit cops, or you do film cops, the cops walk up to you and they say, "Hey, what are you doing? Let me see some ID. I'm reasonably suspicious of you." And you tell them, "I'm not going to give you my ID because you don't have any probable cause." The probable cause is a huge difference. You guys saw the video where that copper came up to me. You saw it. You guys saw it. So, and then, what's going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? What is going on? I can't keep up in the comments, so I just will jump through. You have rights, cops have duties. Is it Top Rock? Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Vincent, what's going on? Jack, how are you, Jack? Eric, what's going on, Eric? How are you, dude? DLZ Clips is in the house, everybody. DLZ Clips is doing a good job. He's got some cool clips up there. Good job over there, man. And then Les Paul, what's going on, Les Paul? Good to see you, buddy. KNRW Radio, what's going on, KNRW? What is going on, my brother? Bronco Nation, Silent Auditor, Chevy, Chevy, the songster, Silent Auditor. I see you, Silent Auditor. Shock Professor, what's going on, Shock Prof? What is going on? Iron Man Metal, Bill, what is going on? Mr. Dangus, Mr. Dankanis, good to see you. Andrew, nice to see you. Mikey, love you, brother. Thank you. You're strong. Jesse, good to see you. Good to see you, Eric. Nice to see you. Scrubzilla. I don't see V Boyer. Gloria. There's Gloria. What's going on, Gloria? And then, I told you the video you guys saw, that little snippet. I've been like juicing this thing, working on an edit, because I want to really articulate how to know when your civil liberties are being violated. So anyway, listen, I just want to say one last thing, and then I'll get the flock out of here. I'll get the flock out of Dodge. Listen, there are people who I am involved with who are like angels to me. And I just want to say, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I'm so grateful to my inner circle of people who have been helping me along the way. And even I even have new friends and friends who have come in who are helping me. I had a friend just recently really help me in a huge way just by, being able to use their connections. And, I obviously, I'm not going to say people's individual name because I love them and I want them to continue to have their anonymity. Guys, like, here's the deal. What's up, Brian? Ha! Brian had no idea I was going to cover his video tonight. Ha ha ha! Covered your video, Brian. And I didn't tell anybody. I just put, let's talk about something important. And a couple of my supporters who have helped me, because the greatest news that I have is there's the Constitutional Law Scholar is going to begin, and I'm going to teach you guys some fundamental basics about what it means to be a constitutional law scholar. You guys hear me say that all the time. So what do I mean exactly when I say I'm a constitutional law scholar? What does that mean to me? Why and by the way, I didn't give myself that title. One of my, I'm not going to say anybody's names. There's someone Dennis Sperling. I love you, Dennis Sperling. You're an amazing guy. He's an attorney who graduated from law school magna cum laude. So he's pretty smart. And he had me on his show, and he told me that I was a constitutional law scholar because of the way I broke it down for him. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down again like that, but I'm going to do it in a really unique way that's going to create this game that you guys will be able to play at home, especially if you're homeschooling or you have this deep, deep, deep desire to understand your rights and your liberties and where they come from. But I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now without people who have helped me along the way. And so I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for helping me, because I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now if a certain couple people in my life weren't really helping me in every single freaking way, including my family and my DLZ clips. What's up, Delete Lawz clips? What's up, Playboy? What's up, Playboy? What's up, Playboy? What's up? What's up with the Playboy? Does that light make me flicker? What's up, Playboy? So I will get I will see about my microphone. Deborah, here's the deal. What is going on? Deborah, what is up? Eat my shorts, Kappa. All right, listen, I got to get the flock out of here. Deborah, the original Butch is in here too. What is going on, Playboy? What is going on? Hey, Brian, you did a fantastico job on your coverage of understanding the difference between probable cause and reasonable articulable suspicion. And the reasonable articulable suspicion is a fabrication based on a racist holding from 1968. And if you don't understand that, then you have not seen Overturn Terry Part 1 on this channel. You have not seen it. I mean, how many people have not seen Overturn Terry Part 1 on this channel? If you have not seen Overturn Terry Part 1, 2, and 3 on this channel, then you haven't deep dived enough into Terry versus Ohio to know why it's our motherfucking mission. It's our mission. All right. And with that, we don't stop. I'm going to get the flock out of here. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators.